The first flight sending asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda is expected to take off tonight amid a storm of protests and late legal action. The controversial new policy will see the UK process asylum seekers from inside the African country. 31 migrants were set to board the first flight after UK judges rejected last-minute legal challenges from human rights groups on Monday. But media sources quoting government insiders suggest this number may fall to below 5 due to ongoing court disputes. The United Nations Refugee Agency has strongly criticized the UK's new migrant policy, but Prime Minister Boris Johnson says his government's decision will help deter illegal channel crossings.
And what is happening with the attempt to undermine the Rwanda policy is that they are, I'm afraid, undermining everything that we're trying to do to support safe and legal routes for people to come to the UK and to oppose the illegal and dangerous routes. That is what we are trying to do. That is the essence of our policy.
Now let's head to London and speak to our reporter Vincent McAviney. Vincent, so can you explain this new policy and what are some of the legal challenges that it's facing?
Yeah, well, just to bring you the very latest on this before I explain it, I understand that the 3 legal challenges that have been taken place today have in fact failed in court. That plane is now on the runway and we're expecting 8 people to be on that first flight to Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. Now, to be clear, this policy isn't just for these people to be flown to Rwanda to be processed there to decide whether they are verified asylum seekers and have the right to live in the UK. If they are deemed to be asylum seekers in the correct legal definitions, then they will in fact stay in Rwanda. They will be provided accommodation in Rwanda, healthcare, opportunities to try and get work. There is no route for them to come back to the UK. It is essentially a one-way ticket. This is a unique deal that the UK government has struck with the Rwandan government. It is going to cost some hundreds of millions of pounds to do, but the Prime Minister and his government are adamant that this is the right way to tackle the problem in the Channel.
But only 8 people on this flight tonight. Why is the UK government still pushing for this flight to actually leave tonight?
Well, the UK government is adamant that this is the right policy. Now, there is the fact, yes, that you say there are only 8 people going on it. There have been these legal challenges on individual cases because of safety fears, despite guarantees from the Rwandan government, and on the policy as a whole. But so far in the courts, they're saying the government has the right to make this policy. There will be a challenge again in a couple of weeks' time. If it's found then that the government couldn't do this under perhaps international law, then the UK government will have to repatriate everyone from Rwanda. But at the moment, the government seems incredibly confident that this is fine, that they can do this and they have the right to do this. The reason that they think it's the right thing to do is that, of course, the Brexit referendum meant that the UK took back control of its borders. This is a reason why the Conservative government did manage to win so strongly in that election in 2019. It is something that enjoys great public support here in the UK, having control of the borders. And they feel, particularly these channel crossings, the constant images, as we were just seeing there, of boats. Only a few years ago, it was only a few hundred people. Now it's in the tens of thousands of people making this crossing, that is making a mockery of that control. But also there is a concern, a genuine concern about the people themselves. These are incredibly vulnerable people paying huge amounts to criminal gangs to send them on these often overwhelmed little dinghies into what is the world's busiest shipping lane. It's incredibly dangerous, and we did have the sinking of one of those boats last year with the loss of around 27 lives, including women and children. So there is a genuinely concern, and whilst the policy might not seem cost effective, because it's going to cost for these people, it seems hundreds of thousands of people for this chartered plane this evening that won't be anywhere near full. The hope is from the British government that that deterrence, the fact that you might end up in Rwanda, will stop people taking this risky path with the people traffickers and try to take the official application routes.